And I'd like to introduce Sara Greaney from Cisco. She's going to be discussing how to secure your cloud journey. Take it away there, Sara.
Yeah, well, hello everyone. Good morning or afternoon. My name is Sara Greaney, as John had mentioned, and I work as a security partner account manager here at Cisco. And as we also mentioned, there are technical counterparts on this call, so they'll be able to answer any questions that you might have that arise. But today we'll be discussing how to secure your cloud journey while mitigating risks and ensuring compliance. So on today's agenda, we're going to look over the overview of the evolving threat landscape, common security challenges faced by organizations in the cloud, the importance of proactive cloud security measures, and an overview of cloud security tools and technologies. So over the past few years, network traffic has evolved from a mostly internal and centralized flow to a decentralized flow that has mostly internet traffic. So today we see companies where as much as 80% or more of their traffic is going to the internet. And many companies now have branch offices, roaming, and mobile users who must get to the internet for SaaS applications or any kind of cloud service. And because of these changes in network traffic, the centralized infrastructure model creates several problems. So problems such as not being able to meet increasing connectivity needs because the data center has become a bottleneck that causes performance issues, a high volume of maintenance and upgrades that are needed on a regular basis. And in order to catch up or stay ahead of the curve, many organizations need to go through a modernization transformation by adopting a cloud-centric model instead. So many organizations that we talk to have common outcomes in mind when it comes to moving to a cloud-centric security model. So among these common goals are keeping their organization safe from known and emerging cyber threats, ensuring that their organization's data and cloud application usage policies are not just compliant with any laws or company rules, but also enforceable. And making sure that their organization's sensitive data is safe in the cloud or before it even gets there. Having operational efficiency thanks to the integration of security functionalities and the automation between them. Giving their IT and cloud security administrators a single interface for easily managing multiple integrated security functions. And lastly, knowing that all of their employees, whether they're on the network or off the network, whether they're using a managed or unmanaged device, have a positive experience thanks to a high performance cloud infrastructure that enables high productivity in a secure way. So because of this change in how the internet is used, analysts like Gartner have coined the term Security Service Edge, or SSE for short, and have stated that the market is evolving rapidly towards SSE. So according to Gartner, by the year 2025, 80% of organizations will have adopted a strategy to converge security capabilities for accessing web, cloud services, and private applications. And just to put some perspective, this number was just 20% in 2021. So we're seeing a drastic change there. So a lot of things have fundamentally changed how users work today. Your network is changing, and you're probably revisiting how your security architecture fits in there. So the new reality of the cloud and digital transformation only make it that more difficult, leading to gaps in visibility and protection. So Cisco Umbrella is one of the core components of Cisco's SSE and SASE architectural models. So Umbrella integrates multiple components that were once standalone security services and appliances in a single cloud-native solution. So all backed by the threat intel from Cisco Talos, the second highest ranked threat intelligence group just outside of the government. And Cisco Umbrella is more than just a DNS layer security. So as we've added secure web gateway, cloud delivered firewall, cloud access security broker, remote browser isolation, and more. And I'll cover those later on the slides. So behind Umbrella is an aggregated industry-leading threat intelligence that we have from Cisco Talos. Umbrella resolves hundreds of billions of DNS requests per day, and that's obviously a ton of traffic, and it's why our threat intelligence is as effective as it is. So Talos is one of the largest commercial threat intelligence teams in the world, and it's made up of over 400 world-class researchers, analysts, engineers, you name it. So DNS layer security from Umbrella can be deployed in minutes enterprise-wide. And then from there, additional security controls can be added over time. So DNS, it stands for Domain Name System, and all of you probably use it, DNS, thousands of times per day without even knowing it. So every time you connect to a website, open a mobile phone app, or update software, your device queries DNS servers. And DNS is used to map those domain names like Cisco.com to an IP address. So when when someone utilizes Umbrella, Umbrella will decide if a domain request is a good destination or a bad one. And it makes that decision within a split second. So now for some organizations, even deeper inspection and more granular controls are required. So some organizations may want a full HTTPS inspection, not just inspection for risky sites. And with the secure web gateway, this ability to do that is very well. And so this provides visibility, control, and protection across all web traffic, including HTTPS. So it also does full URL logging and cloud application discovery. It does SSL decryption, file inspection, just to protect against malware. And it does content filtering by category, so plus URL blocking and allowing to enforce acceptable use policies. And so when we look at the secure web gateway, we get the full web proxy functionality as well as more granular controls that I'll go over in the following slides. So in these next couple of slides, we'll talk about some of the cloud access security broker functionalities that you get with Umbrella. The CASB functionality and the full HTTPS inspection are great for organizations that have requirements for cybersecurity insurance or requirements for certain compliances. Many of them may need full HTTPS inspection or deep packet inspection, and they may need data loss prevention or other features. And walking organizations through the SIG functionality has helped many out tremendously for their various use cases and requirements. So app visibility and control is one of the features that I think brings in a lot of interest. So we're able to see all applications that their users are utilizing in their environment. So you can see if your users are playing games or using proxies to try and circumvent some of the policies that you're trying to enforce. And if you want to go beyond monitoring, you could easily block the app from being used at all. So in addition, we can research the applications directly in the Umbrella dashboard to learn more about the apps and its risk factors, allowing us to decide what actions need to be taken with the application. Do we continue to allow it or to block it? So app discovery is available in all packages, but our visibility is by domain in the DNS packages. With SIG, we can actually get the full URL granularity. So tenant controls is another feature that falls under the CASB umbrella. It's a feature that helps umbrella administrators ensure that only the right users or only the right groups have access to certain SaaS apps. So currently these apps are like Office 365, G Suite, and Slack. And I often like to talk about this feature from the perspective of protecting sensitive data. If a customer is interested in data loss prevention, I show DLP, of course, but I also like to show tenant controls because I think it complements it very well. So with tenant controls, users can access the cloud apps we mentioned with their personal accounts. Or they can't, excuse me, but they have to use these accounts that belongs to a domain that the admin specifies is allowed. So for an example, an admin can say, I only want users to access these apps with their own work accounts. So if they try to log in from a personal account, it doesn't work. So we can only allow users from the domain, mycompany.com, or those emails that are within the company to access certain applications. And this can keep users productive and also prevent employees from exfiltrating sensitive data out of their personal instances of the applications. So then after talking about tenant controls, I like to talk about multi-mode data loss prevention, also called DLP. So I've seen DLP come up frequently due to requirements for compliance or cybersecurity insurance. And within our DLP, we have a few different ways that we can prevent sensitive data from being exfiltrated. So we have our real-time DLP and our SaaS API DLP. Real-time DLP scans outbound web traffic in line through the secure web gateway proxy for all cloud destinations, whereas SaaS API DLP scans outbound traffic while it's at rest in the cloud via RESTful API. So instead of going through the secure web gateway proxy, it'll go through this for real-time enforcement. So an important thing to mention also is that while there are other vendors on the market who already provide both modes of DLP, a key differentiator in Cisco Umbrella is the unified policies and reporting between them, giving administrators a single management interface experience. Whereas other vendors, they have separate policy and reporting experiences for the two modes. And so that's a lot for someone to deal with, and that's why Umbrella customers, they don't have to deal with that. And then there's cloud malware protection. So Umbrella leverages all the insights from Cisco Talos threat intelligence to detect cloud malware presence. It performs API-based out-of-band file scanning for sanctioned cloud applications, such as Microsoft 365, WebEx, and Box, and alerts system administrators to any potential malicious files that are in them. And retroactive scanning kind of looks at pre-existing and legacy files within the cloud applications, while continuous scanning identifies pre-existing files that have changed or shared along with new files that are uploaded. So next I want to cover on how to remediate cloud malware infections. So once the cloud malware alert has been generated in Umbrella, the administrator can either quarantine and delete this file or dismiss it as a non-threat. So this provides any lateral movement or denotation of the malware within the network. And meanwhile, Umbrella continues to gather billions of new malware samples to analyze every day. So next, I want to go on to further talk about cloud malware protection. But using Umbrella's robust reporting functionality, administrators can continuously gather new threat data to better understand cloud application usage, identify potentially compromised accounts, and get a clear understanding of the volume of threats that exist within the network. So next, I'll touch on remote browser isolation. This is an add-on feature and helps to add another layer of security on top of the CASB functionality present in SIG. So it can be deployed rapidly as it's part of the existing Umbrella dashboard, and it allows users to browse the internet risk-free, even on risky destinations. And basically, it creates an air gap and removes all risk from their endpoint while losing nothing in the user experience from their endpoint. So this can be really useful when protecting power users or protecting users that need to traverse or investigate risky content while removing all risk. So the last feature I wanted to touch on was Umbrella Cloud Delivered Firewall. So Umbrella SIG comes with a full cloud delivered firewall. This means that the firewall is maintained fully in the cloud and deployment is quick and it's easy. So the firewall provides multiple layers and types of protection for outbound web traffic, which includes layers 3, 4, and 7. In addition, we can add layers to security by specifying ports, protocols, and application, which allows us to protect beyond our standard ports. So next, I wanted to speak on the changes to the Federal Trade Commission guidelines with regards to security. So first, I'll go over what the FTC safeguards rule is. So basically, companies that offer consumers financial products or services like loans, financial or investment advice, or insurance are able to explain or have to explain that their information sharing practices to customers, and they have to keep in mind the safeguard for sensitive data as well for those clients and customers. So the safeguards rule, it requires financial institutions under the FTC jurisdiction to have measures in place to keep their customer information secure. In addition to developing their own safeguards, companies covered by the rule are responsible for taking steps to ensure that their affiliates and service providers safeguard customer information in their care. So the types of organizations this rule applies to are pretty varied, and they consist of companies that may not be an obvious target for attackers. So the cybersecurity plane, it has shifted in the recent year, and it will continue to shift. And cybersecurity plane, it's extremely really important, the change and the drastic change with, people stealing personal information from any of these non-financial institutions that do hold sensitive customer data. For example, auto dealers, home appraisers, estate planners, they all have the potential to, to have their information compromised. And so the FTC is going to make sure that that doesn't happen. And, how do they protect their network? So basically, businesses that fail to comply with the FTC's guidelines may be subject to investigations and enforcement actions, which can result in financial penalties and damage to the business's reputation. So it's really essential for businesses to take the necessary steps to protect their customers' personal information and comply with the FTC's cybersecurity guidelines, to avoid any negative impact on their business. But that's the end of my deck, but I wanted to also introduce you guys to Andre, and he will be showing you a demo of the Umbrella platform as well.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and I'll start sharing this demo as mentioned, and we have 10 minutes, so we won't get to see everything, but we will go ahead and go through what I think are some of the essentials. So right now we just logged on to Umbrella and we see the overview page. And this really gives you a really great highlight of everything within the first couple of minutes. So you can see a lot of metrics. Everything is, hyperlinkable, so you can click on it and it will take you to a more detailed summary. But this is where you would first land. Then after you're there, I like to talk about just how easy it is to deploy. So deployment comes in a few different flavors, and what we're going to look at right now is a network deployment. So this might be someone that has a router or some type of routable switch or a device that allows people to connect to the internet here. So we have some examples: Ant Retro, NYC Office, OpenDNS HQ. Now, if we wanted to make a new one, we could just click Add. We could put in Andre's network here. So this is my office. And we can say, am I going to connect via IPv4, IPv6? Are we going to have mixed? So we do have options for that. We'll just leave it at IPv4. We'll put in the public IP address, the public egress facing IP address. So we'll just put in some random address here. We'll put in the corresponding CIDR. So how many networks do we have inside that address? So we can have as little as 1 up to 64,000 with a /16. We'll just keep it small and do a /30. And then we would hit save. Because it's a demo, we're just going to cancel out. But just like that, you would have protection on a network level. So that's really, really helpful. We've had a lot of customers that were able to set up very quickly, and it takes about 5 minutes for everything to be set up from a network side. Now, I did mention we do have other ways of deployment, and I won't get into all of them, just simply due to the interest of time. But we can look at a few that have been pretty popular. So, roaming computers is something that a lot of customers have been looking at. It's very easy to deploy here. You'll see that we have some example laptops here. These protect our users wherever they are, so they could be working from home, in a coffee shop, on the road. Doesn't matter. They're going to get the same umbrella protection as if they were in the office. So all you need to do is download the roaming client here. You will get the secure client. You download the module profile, and you would also need to um, download the root certificate. And then you'd have protection wherever you go. This also gives some additional granularity in the reporting here, which we'll look at in a little bit. We also have um, another deployment, which is mobile devices. This is also something that users and customers ask about. You know, can I protect mobile devices? Can I protect bring your own devices, laptop, tablets, and mobile phones? And we can. So we can protect iOS and Android devices. It used to be that they need to be managed devices, but we do now support unmanaged devices as well. So if you have some managed device deployments, or if you have unmanaged devices, all you need to do is just download a connector app and you get protection that way. So that's pretty useful. Now, saying that we only have about 5 more minutes, we're going to jump to reporting. And this is a pretty useful part, and a lot of people have really enjoyed this in the demos I've done. So here we can see everything, every request made in the network, given within a certain period of time. So here we have the last 24 hours. If we wanted to, we can go up to the last 30 days. So we have 30 days worth of information here. And if you wanted to, store info beyond that, you can export that and store it, or you can export it to a Amazon SW3 bucket. So this is really great tool for seeing what is being blocked and getting a lot of information there. So you can click on blocked, and in this population, you see that we have all the block requests. We can also really specify who's looking at it. So right now we see a lot of network names. We don't see that granularity that we saw when we looked at the roaming computers. So let's look at Active Directory users and roaming computers so we can see some granularity. And now we're not going to see network names here. We're going to see, device names and user names here. And we're seeing everything that's been blocked for these people. So if we wanted to create a report, we can easily do that. We can go ahead and export it to CSV, or we can schedule it. And everything that we clicked on already is already populated. So we can just hit on continue, and we can choose whatever schedule we want. So if we want this every day at 9 o'clock, this is really great for our team to look at, hey, what's been blocked by these users? And we can see that every day. Now, if we wanted to learn more information about, what a specific user was going to, let's say Tony Stark is just constantly going on sites that are blocked. You can type in Tony Stark here, and we'll see this populate. It's all Tony Stark blocked requests. Now, let's say he went somewhere that we just weren't sure of what it was. We see this site here that is malware, um, jackalima.com. I don't know what it is, and I don't think anyone on the team would. So we can click on these ellipses here, view full details, and we get more information here as well. We can exit out, and we can also click on something called investigate. And investigate is a really cool feature. It's a really cool tool that helps speed up and expedite, some of the triage of risks. So we saw that it was blocked. We saw that it was categorized as malware. We can really look at some of these indicators and see more information on it. So we have scores based off of where the domain was located, if it shared lexical content with other known malicious domains, is Umbrella blocking this domain or not. Also keyword scores and top level domain rank scores. We can also see where it was registered, and we can also see some of the DNS queries as well. So it's a really useful tool on just speeding up and helping you do your research very quickly. A lot of people I've worked with have had small teams, and this was quite helpful. So we have about 2 minutes left. I'll end the demo here, but if you do have questions or wanted to see more, we can always, follow up.
Okay, thanks a lot, Andre. Appreciate you doing that demo, Sarah. Great job. We did have a couple of questions came in, but we only have time for one. So I'm going to pick one of the questions. And we answered one of them of how you protect the devices off the network. I think Andre showed us that with the roaming client. But maybe one of the questions is, and I'm not sure if Sarah, if this is for you, but how does Cisco Umbrella actually work?
Yeah, so I can answer that one. So you can kind of think of Cisco Umbrella as essentially a man in the middle. So whether you're using the roaming client or any of the other deployment methods, the umbrella is gonna essentially look at the requests before it goes out to the internet. Um, so from there, it will make I guess, a judgment, is this going to be accepted or not? And if it is accepted as something that is allowable in the network, then it will go through some of the other maybe CASB functionality or other features that you have as well. So we start with the DNS protection, and then you would have your secure web gateway if you're looking at a SIG package, and then you would go to the firewall as well. I don't know if that answers the question, but we can dive deeper if it doesn't.
Yeah, no problem. I think that's going to be enough for now because we do want to stay on time. I will invite everyone to, contact me. I sent my contact information through. If you're interested in more of an in-depth demo or a free trial, or have specific questions to your organization, please let us know. We can just discuss that with you one-on-one. I will be reaching out to the winner privately for your full licenses for Cisco Umbrella, so that'll be great for you to use this for real in your own network. Again, I'm John from Hummingbird Networks. We're a Cisco certified partner for almost 18 years now, and we can help you with solving any security challenge. Thanks again for attending, and everybody have a great day.